Okay, with this question, it's a continuation from question 6 on the 2020 exam. So we've seen the residual plot indicates that the association is nonlinear, and we're saying that because we can see this pattern in the residual plot. So if you see a pattern in the residual plot, that will equal nonlinear. So when it's nonlinear, we then do generally a transformation to make it linear. Now down here, we don't often see this in exams where they ask you can just select an appropriate transformation, so they could accept multiple answers to linearize it. So what you have to do is look at the original scatter plot. So this is the original scatter plot, which I've grabbed from the other questions at the start on the other page. All right, so we look at this original scatter plot and it looks like this sort of part of a curve. So we're going to say it looks like this part of our transformation circle. So therefore an x squared or a y squared now would be appropriate. Now they did tell you though to linear an appropriate transformation for the mean age. So if you look up here, mean age is actually the x value. So an appropriate transformation, this you can see you only have one option there, and that would be x squared, because they're telling you to do a transformation on the x. All right, so what you've got to do is then go into your calculator, and you've got to get your two lists, pop your two lists in. So this would be x and this would be y, and then you need to create a transform list of x squared. So I'll go do that on the calc. Okay, so what I've done is I've typed this into the calculator. So I've called the mean age, I've just called that x and y, so I've called them x and y, and we have to create the squared x list, so I just called it sx, and then you put in the equals and then you get this next line. So then once you've done that, I did a linear regression line. Okay, so just make sure when you do the linear regression line, I've done it here, is that when I type in, when I'm putting in choosing my x list, I chose the squared x list, and then my y list was still y. Okay, so then it asks us to round the values of the intercept and the slope to, so they want you to write the equation, so you've got to write it out, and round to 4 significant figures. So be careful here. Now you must write out in terms of the variable name. So I'm going to say mean height in, and we'll just write centimeters, equals, now we want the A to 4 significant figures. So here's A, 4 significant, 1, 2, 3, there's the fourth one. So I'd look at the fifth and it needs to go up. So it'd be 167.9, and then I've got to find the B, which is negative, and I can't quite see this on the my screenshot of it, so I'll just check on the calculator of what that was, because I don't start counting until I get to a non-zero. So there would be the 1, 6, that's number 2 significant figures, then I had 2, and then I had 0, 8. So 4 significant figures for this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And because this is an 8, this one will have to go up. So therefore I'd have minus 0.001621 times. Now remember, we've changed the age to being squared, so I need to write mean age squared. Okay, and that's my final answer here down there, and they'll be looking for, this was 2 marks, so 2 marks that you've picked, 1 mark for the right transformation, I would say, and appropriate, and then 1 mark for significant figures and the equation written out correct. Okay.